This week's episode proudly sponsored by Bauer Hockey. The Hyperlight 2 stick has dropped online and in-store, featuring the newest curve from Bauer, the 90T. That is halfway between a P28 and a P92, so toe drags and top shelf can go together like never before. Check it out in-store online. This is the Hockey Life Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Hockey Life Podcast presented by Skaters Network. We are in episode 4 for our special guest, Australia's own Nathan Walker, first Aussie to ever be drafted, play in the NHL, score a goal in his first game. He's also played in the Spengler Cup, played pro in Czech, some bit of a cup of coffee in the AHL as well and the East Coast. Few games for the Australian national team. Gold medal at Ginsberg as well with myself. Nathan Walker, thanks for joining us in the pod,
What an
buddy.
intro. Thanks for having me, guys. That was a long one.
No, yeah, it's a pretty long elite prospects, but I think I surmised it as best as I could.
Well, they don't have all the Pee-wees and Ginsberg stats
Oh,
on there,
mate,
so
if they
it's
had
alright.
those stats up there, that'd be...
I feel like Vicky Stevenson's got them in there somewhere.
They're somewhere
They're
in
gonna be
the
hiding
archives, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, there's at least like 120 goals in probably like 30-something games, I'd say.
That's it. Nathan, now off season, you're back in Australia. What's
Yep.
been going on?
Not much, really. Just working out, spending time with the family. Nothing too crazy. Just trying to get geared up, ready for the new season that's fastly approaching.
Now, who have you been training with? Because obviously, usually in years past, you were on the ice, once, twice a week at Canterbury. So what's happening now?
I'm just training with the Ice Dogs team out of Macquarie, every second Wednesday and Thursday nights. But yeah, unfortunately, there's no ice availability this year with what's happening with Canterbury and the renovations and everything. So, it's been a bit tougher this year, but been finding a way to manage.
Have you done any of those 10 p.m. sessions lately, or do you skip those ones?
I don't do the 10 p.m. ones. No,
I don't blame you, buddy.
Be getting back here at
Yeah.
midnight with two kids in the morning.
That's a rough one to do.
That's why I just do every second Wednesday.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, Nathan, speaking of kids, 2 kids now,
Yeah.
Banks and Winter. Talk to me about being a dad with 2 kids. Is it slightly harder than having one, or is it a lot harder than having one?
I think if you have regular kids, it's just maybe slightly harder, but with our kids just being as nuts as they are, it's quite hard.
Well, they're half walkers, so they're gonna be
right.
buzzing
I know.
around. They're gonna have a lot of energy.
They get it from my wife for sure. No, it's good. It's
She's shooting daggers at you right now.
yes. No, it's good. It's hard. I mean, yeah, having kids is hard. It's, you realize that their trust in their life is actually in your hands, and if you don't chase them around the whole day with food, they're probably not going to eat. So it's tough, but it's good. I mean, it keeps you on your toes. I'm fortunate enough where I can, say I got to go work out for 5 hours a day and kind of have my own alone time for a bit. But no, it's good. Taylor obviously does an amazing job with the kids and looks after them really well, looks after myself, and it's good. It's good having the kids.
And what was the thing that you learnt more about yourself as you sort of become a dad? Are you seeing some things in yourself in your kids now, or just the behavior type things?
I thought I was patient until they came along.
Right.
The patience kind of
you're working on
slowly wears. Yeah, no, I'm working on it. No, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's pretty good. I don't know. I got a few soft spots every now and then, especially for Winter. But I don't think there's been too much change.
Okay.
I'm actually recently a father myself, 13 weeks now.
That's right.
And the biggest thing that I couldn't, and I had to really grasp was, just from that mindset before you have kids is okay, yeah, we'll leave at 10 and then we'll get there by 11 and yep, perfect. And then it's packing the car takes 5 times as long. Maybe the baby's not ready, so then it waits. And then when you're driving, then you got to stop. So I've realized now you just kind of got to, be 5 hours ahead. You just got to be thinking 5 hours ahead.
That's
Whatever
very
you
true,
say, just aim for earlier, but you know that you're going to be way later for everything.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, a big thing for us is we'll say, see you at 10. But we could be there at 9:30 saying, well, where are you? We said we'll see you at 10. But then we could be there at 10:30 saying, we have 2 kids. What do you want us to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-win for us having 2 kids because we can always just play that game where it's like, we have 2 kids. What do you want us to do?
Yeah,
So if we're super early, it's good.
What is the exact allotment of time that you can put with 2 kids? Is that 1 hour each?
I think
you've been able to get away with.
I think it's 30 each side. I think if you
30
do any
each side.
more, I think it's kind of pushing it. I think if you're 30 minutes late, it's probably not a good look. But with 2 kids, 15 minutes each kid.
People
maybe
can
a
understand.
tantrum. Yeah, but yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Baseline. Yeah. I can get around that.
3 kids, you could probably bump it up to 45.
Yeah,
And then that should probably cap it out there. If you're 45 minutes late, probably should just
Having
stay
that many kids was
stay
your
home,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah, get a diary or something, plan it out ahead.
Yeah. No, but you're right. Like the one day you say, all right, well, Banks might wake up at 10 o'clock and we'll go to the cafe and meet mum and dad for whatever. But the one day he doesn't wake up at 10, he wakes up at 11. Kind of doesn't ruin the whole day, but they have their routines and you think that you know their routines.
You have to work around them.
Yeah,
all
and
the
then
time.
so you plan on their routine happening like it has for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it changes, and then that's when things kind of happen when other people don't understand, who don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
Are like, well, we said 10 o'clock, but it's like, oh wait, you got 2 kids now. It's a bit different.
Dude, how do I say
Yeah, we're on
this?
a totally different. It's like a totally different game that we're playing. Like,
Exactly right. Yeah.
You're not even there.
You got to be way
Yeah.
more flexible and fluid with your time, and just be around people that understand what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So talk to me about last season with St. Louis. Different, there's a few players that weren't in the lineup. There's changes happening. Kind of, what did it look like from inside the locker room? Like,
I mean, obviously we didn't have the season we wanted to. I thought we had a really strong team going into it. It was pretty much a similar team to the team we lost to Colorado with, who obviously went on to win the cup. And I think our expectations were quite high, and we didn't obviously meet them. And then it kind of, I don't want to say unraveled, but I think as the trade deadline approached, and management knew that we weren't going to be able to make a push, that's when they kind of, were looking out for the organization in the long run. And, unfortunately, that's just what happens. It's a business at the end of the day. And if you're not winning, then that's kind of what happens. And everyone kind of figured that out as we went on. But it would have been nice to have another run with those guys, because it was, like I said, I thought we had a great team going into it. And it was just unfortunate the way the season kind of unraveled for us.
Who from that lineup that ended up moving on or being traded, do you feel like left the biggest hole in the team that was like, wow, you realize him not being in the locker room and not being in the change room, that that energy was missed?
I mean, you could say that for all of them. I think they all brought their own unique and special talent, not just on the ice but off the ice as well. I mean, obviously, when you lose your captain, that is a big hole too. He was very vocal in the room. He was such a good leader, and when he spoke, everyone would stop what they're doing and would listen. And I think when you lose a guy like that, it kind of drains you for a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're all professional athletes, and that's just the way it kind of goes, and that was kind of the way it is, and we just had to kind of deal with it like that.
So you got any insider news for next season that we can release on the podcast right here?
Breaking news.
You know as much as I do. No, I got nothing for you, unfortunately. I wish I did, but no, I don't.
He's just trying to get the podcast go viral. That's all he's looking for. He's looking for a little clip.
1 million views overnight.
One little clip.
Boom.
Yeah.
Being back in Australia, does it take you back to when you were younger, playing in New South Wales, ice and inline? Does it make you remember those days when, it was the height of the sports within Australia for sure? I mean, it seemed like back then, before you went to Czech, that if you were playing ice, you were kind of just playing inline as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a rink just 5 minutes away from here in Caringbah, Skate Plus, and that was, that was unreal. We go play inline in the mornings and then go play ice at night. And then on the Sunday, we do the same thing. My older brother would play, and it was sweet. And then, if you look from when I was 5 years old to now, the amount of rinks and inline rinks that have kind of just disappeared and got shut down, knocked down, whatever, it's scary. I mean, you think ice hockey in Australia is on the uprise, but at the end of the day, it's not really. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how many players are registered from then to now, but I can name a bunch of rinks on my hand, that are gone that were there 20 years ago. Yeah. And it's like you look at Blacktown Ice Rink, like that was the hub for me, anyways.
Yeah, same.
That was the hub of New South Wales ice hockey. That was it. If you kind of went anywhere, you kind of went through that rink, and the amount of tournaments that were there, the amount of championships that we won in Blacktown.
Even the private coaching that they offered as
exactly
well.
Right,
like
yeah.
They had so much time for hockey players. It felt like more than the other rinks. I feel like we were kind of lucky to come through that rink at that time.
Yeah,
because we had such a special group of people that not only ran the rink but were part of the organization as well.
And they actually cared about the people coming through that rink, and they wanted kids to come and get better and do, like you said, do the private lessons and learn how to play hockey the proper way, and not just give them a stick and a puck and skates and say come on kids, let's figure it out. Why can't you do this? Why can't you shoot the puck like this? Why can't you do that? Because they're not getting taught. But there I felt like it was, and you go back to the Wilsons who ran the rink, and it was unbelievable. Right down from John to Willow.
Yeah.
Everyone who was involved in that was unreal. And I think that's what's lacking in New South Wales. I can't speak for the other states. Obviously, I think Melbourne's doing pretty well with their rink and whatnot. But I think New South Wales is definitely lacking those the rinks that they had. Is Penrith is shut down too?
Yeah, Penrith.
Yeah, so Penrith got they shut down because they got a new ownership and they didn't want to keep it running as a rink, and now that owner is selling that property again. So it's literally just a gutted shell of what it
There was actually, I saw a petition to try and get people together to buy that, but I mean, wasn't it already converted to a warehouse by that point, or didn't he pull everything out?
I think they poured concrete and then they gutted all the rink stuff out of there. Because I think that was part of the sale. I think they put some concrete on where the sand was, and that's it. They just put a new coat of paint in
I'll play roller there. I'm fine with that. Like, if we just
like,
want to
that's
turn it
the thing,
around
like,
and
even
do
roller
it.
hockey, like
There's only one rink.
I mean, because that was back in the day. It was
That was
leagues,
sick.
man.
You
You were
had
going every
proper
weekend
leagues,
somewhere else. There was teams,
divisions. There was
Penguins,
under 10s.
Yeah.
Platinum, gold, silver. Well, there was actual leagues in the age groups. There was different leagues in the age groups.
And on the weekend, you'd roll into
was a
an
massive
inline rink, and there was games going. There was people everywhere. Everyone's rollerblading around between their games.
with no roof on, and you'd be playing with your sunnies on. It was sick.
That's
It was
sick.
so cool.
Yeah.
And then it was like you said, if you played one or the other, you played the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you grew up doing this, then you would finish off playing this, and vice versa. And it was sick.
Yeah.
And so obviously there's, once you went to Czech and, moving to the States, it was, ice hockey driven and everything was focused towards that from that point. But what do you think inline and playing inline hockey kind of brought to your game or opened up? Were there any things that were kind of more easy to pick up there, or skills that you really were able to hone in that?
I mean, I think playing inline hockey definitely helps if you want to play ice hockey too. It'd be the same like if you want to play rugby but you've been kicking a soccer ball for a while. Like you're still running around, and that hand-eye coordination that's still going to be there. Yeah, it's a different sport. Don't get me wrong, but at the
The
same
main components are there.
yeah, like with inline hockey and ice hockey, there's so many similarities where you're skating using the same muscles. You got your head up, your eyes are tracking things the same way you would in ice hockey. You stop a little differently, and the puck's a little different. It's moving a little different. But other than that, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. It's definitely like a more of a possession-based game. It's not that north-south, chip it in. It gives you more of opportunity to hold onto the puck and make plays
It does,
when you're playing inline. And who are the guys that you looked up to in that sort of the height of the inline era when you were growing up? Like who are the guys that were killing the game back then?
I mean, there was obviously Casaselli. Like he was bar none the best inline hockey player to ever come out of Australia, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was fortunate enough that he was from here, so we'd go down to practice in the nighttime or whatever, and he would be there just
Buzzing
doing his
around,
thing,
yeah.
and you'd be like, holy, this guy's sick.
He was so filthy.
Like he's so sick.
Yeah. He still got it.
I know, yeah. Like and then he transitioned from inline to ice as well, and then as did all those old inline boys from Skate Plus. They all did the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that Blacktown dynasty of strong ice hockey players and championship teams, they're all playing inline as well.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
there was that
yeah.
massive influx that came in because I was mostly ice during that era because I think my parents were too cheap to get me to inline as well. I think they were like, that's
playing
enough.
one sport,
That's
one
enough.
sport
Yeah,
only.
yeah. The equipment, the skates
Yeah.
were enough. Like we don't
Yeah.
need to get like put rollerblades on as well. But like I do remember that time when like all you guys started coming through. From all the different like inline clubs, like you, Billy, like I mean, there's so many other guys that we can name,
Yeah,
but
right.
I remember coming through, you guys coming in and just like running the show straight away
Well, I
as
think
you guys came through.
we all kind of went to Blacktown, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all went to Blacktown.
Yeah, it was weird how like all those like even though it was from kind of like different inline clubs, everyone
Yeah.
sort of kind of like funneled and
Everyone kinda
make their way
funneled
over
into
to
Blacktown, yeah.
Blacktown, which
So
I
I'm
was
trying to
all
think
for.
who, like out of the Caringbah area, so obviously like my brother and I, like Cam Todd,
Yep.
like Billy, it's kind of like those guys from this area, but then all the guys out west and everything, we all just kind of funneled, like you said, into Blacktown for a bit, and then
Yeah. And like
So
we can thank Inline for making Blacktown the powerhouse that it was back then.
Powerhouse
It was-
of New
Yeah,
South
like
Wales
yeah,
ice
we
hockey,
started
yeah.
tearing it up. I don't think we lost a.
I think there was definitely a correlation between playing inline and having everyone together.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry on those Blacktown teams were just ridiculous. I was on the losing end with the Bears for a couple of seasons there. Yeah. Yeah, real shame.
Yeah.
I actually remember the first...
Did you try out for the Flyers and didn't make it? Was that what happened?
It was...
you can go play for the Bears.
Yeah, try the best.
I actually really liked the red jerseys better. That was just for me. I didn't want to go to the Flyers, so I just went to the Bears.
Yeah.
I actually remember my first ever seeing you, Nathan. I think, or like coming onto my radar and actually like taking notice was we were at an inline tournament. I'm not sure if it was Hawkesbury or it was somewhere. I was walking with Nick Quirk, and Nick Quirk's like, "Oh yeah, there's Nathan. Yeah, he's got the puck." I'm watching. I'm like, yeah. You're just controlling the game. I'll never forget it. You look up the top of the circles. You're moving it around. And Nick's like, man, he's good. I was like, yeah, he looks pretty good. And he's like, no, he's really good. I was like, yeah, I guess.
But
and
like-
he's playing up 2 divisions. I was like, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No,
He's 10 playing
really
under
good.
14s.
Yeah.
He's also got a hat trick already.
It was, those inline tournaments were sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it would just be one, you'd go to a venue and it would be under
All the-
10s,
all
all
the
the way
age
up to
groups.
men's and
Yeah, and
masters,
so many
whatever.
games to watch, and you're
Yeah.
all there in the stadium.
And if you if you
yeah.
did play in a couple age groups, you could just play a game, keep your skates on,
Yeah.
wheel around for a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what's missing. I think that's what would be great for ice hockey.
Mm.
And don't get me wrong, I know there's got to cut the ice and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
if you could do it at a venue, I just kind of
Definitely that format where it's not like
Yeah.
stop and let general session happen for the rest
Yeah.
of the day and then come back and do it. Like
no, if you're having if you did it at the ice house in Melbourne, for example, I know they got 2 sheets, but the other sheet isn't made for ice hockey. Is that right?
Yeah.
There's no glass up or anything like
No
that.
glass. No.
But you could do it, like you don't need glass.
Mm.
Like every other rink in Australia probably doesn't have glass like they do.
No, there's
some
only probably like
handful
there's
do.
probably like 3.
Handful do, but you could do it in a sense where if you could have 2 sheets somewhere and do a tournament like that, it would be so sick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I definitely think it adds something because, you're there, you're watching, and you're watching games before your game, and just,
I was definitely jealous because like I would hear of like you guys like playing in all these other inline tournaments and nationals and all that sort of stuff, and then you would be selected for like the national team for like under 12s. Like you get to
Yeah.
go to overseas and play in tournaments
yeah.
overseas as well. Like I don't know, I don't think it was like Billy or something saying meant like Walter Gretzky and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
on tournaments like that, you cross paths with some like you have some crazy stories from going overseas on those tournaments. Like, what do you remember that sort of sticks to mind as like one of your favorite memories from going on those tournaments at such a young age?
I think just going over there, like you said, you got to coming from Australia, getting to just walk past someone like you said, Walter Gretzky, like that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was super young when I played. I would have been like 8 or 10 years old, so it was a while ago now. But it was cool. Like the same thing though. You go to the host city. I think we were in. Oh, I'm gonna have a crazy. It was in Ontario. I think pretty sure. I'm not
Gotcha,
quite
yeah.
sure where exactly it was. But it was sick. Like same concept as the inline hockey. You got the all the age groups there, and you could watch the men's team play, but you could watch the men's Canadian team play against Australia, for example, and it
Yeah.
was like they're good. Like,
Yeah,
they're
like
good hockey
unreal,
players.
yeah.
It's sick to watch. But I loved it. I thought it was cool. Like you said, you're such a young kid, and you get to walk past, certain people and see their face, and maybe if you're lucky enough, get something signed off them and whatnot. But it was cool. I always enjoyed the inline tournaments, and I think if ice could somehow do that, I think it would be good.
Yeah. Because I definitely enjoy playing a hockey game like just middle of the day, like 11 or 12 or 1 p.m. That's a great time. I don't really enjoy playing a game at 8:30 or like 5:30 in the morning.
Adrenaline can slowly wear off. by
Yeah,
the time it's
finally,
bedtime.
yeah. Jeez.
No, I agree. But like, have they ever done ice tournaments where it would be, say, the Adams, Pee-wees, and Ginsberg?
No, so they've always been spread out throughout the calendar, and I think that probably has something to do with the availability of ice time.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating, but I know that it's still very like segmented in terms of the.
Yeah,
I know
right.
Tange had their tournament over in was it South Australia this year, and
Oh, yeah, they
then
did too, yeah.
DeFreeze was over in Perth, I believe. Now the Ginsberg's over in Melbourne, so they kind of spread them all throughout at different times in different states. But the idea of having them all in that one sort of tournament, I think would benefit those different age groups that are younger, seeing the higher level and sort of seeing what that next step sort of looks like.
Maybe it's not actually a thing about the general skate. Maybe it's actually that the hotels just can't handle that many kids playing knee hockey in the hallways or in the foyer. Like they just don't want that. They're like, no, you can't all stay here together. No, everyone get out of the pool. No.
Oh my God.
Amazing. So Nathan, I got a question, right? I mean, you're in there, you're established now in the NHL. What are some key differences that you can kind of pull out from when you first came into the league to now, whether that be kind of analytics or training programs? Like, do you find that the NHL and being in that, it's evolving every year, or do you feel like it's kind of locked to a certain system?
I think it's evolving. I think, now they're doing the puck tracking and the shot tracking during the game, and the top speed and all that kind of stuff. And as if I was a fan, I think that would be really cool to see. You're watching a game on TV, and all of a sudden it pops up. This guy shoots a puck, and it's 98 miles per hour, and you think, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." And then someone goes down and takes a wrist shot, and it's 70 or whatever like that. I think that kind of stuff's cool. The top skating, top speed skater, and all that kind of stuff, I think is cool as well. In regards to training, I think it's different, just kind of which organization you would go to.
Right.
I've been on teams where it's a lot about strength training, and then on other teams where it's a lot about cardio. And when I was playing in Europe, it was a lot about the cardio and the running, and which wasn't good for me. More of a walker myself. Boom. Dad joke.
Hey. If you didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Play back. Go again.
But no, I think just it's kind of changes, and then if there's a different strength coach or whatever, it's they approach the game differently than other guys. No one really
Like
has
they
the
have their
same-
own philosophies
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
their training methods.
Yeah,
and
and they like
that.
to do this certain exercise a lot more because they think it correlates to the ice more than this one, and it's just different organizations I think have their own guys who kind of will monitor that and change that, and if they're not happy with you, then you're gonna have to either try get in shape or get stronger and all that kind of stuff.
Do you sort of like funnel all that information and like use the stuff that works for yourself and for your body type, and sort of like cherry pick the little things that you pick up along the way in your career to what works?
What do you
for
think my body type is?
Thick with 7 C's.
Fair enough.
We did a bit of filming of Nathan doing some training in his gym here, and those shorts were getting pretty tight.
You got a nice pump on.
Oh mate, yeah. We had a good view.
I try and I'll definitely pick everyone's brain. I'll pick players' brains on what they do in the summer. I don't know if you guys have seen Ryan O'Reilly's training sometimes.
Yeah, that's
So
really
it's,
cool.
It's a bit different, right? And it's
like gymnastics sort of.
Is that from his
incorporated.
dad's input, or like where
I
did that
believe
come
so,
from?
Yeah. I haven't dived into that too much with him. But I asked him, one time when I went back to St. Louis, I asked him about it, and he kind of gave me a bit of insight, and then I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. It's good balance, makes sense. All this kind of stuff. And then you can ask someone else what they do, and you can see how what guys do, it correlates into their game and how they play.
Right.
So I, for myself, I'm I'm not the biggest guy there, so why, I'm not going to try and push, a big 6'7" D-man out in front of the net. No, I'm going to try to get under him and get around him and try to use my legs to kind of brace myself instead of push him out of the way.
Yeah.
So I try to do a lot of agility and speed and quickness and plyos and quick short movements like that. But that's for me personally. There could be other guys. Obviously, D-men would do a little bit different stuff and whatnot. But I try and do all my training kind of based on how I want to play and how I need to play in order to be a successful hockey player.
And so with your training program, am I understanding it right that like in the off season you're trying to get and put on as much kind of mass and strength as possible? Because I mean, what's it like through that grueling season? Are you able to keep stacking on muscle and weight through the season, or do you find that you're getting like leaner and leaner as it goes along, or like how do you kind of combat that?
Yeah, I mean the off season for me, and I've always looked at it like this, is I want to prepare my body for, like you said, the grueling season and how long it is. I want to make myself not prone to injuries. So whether that's doing a lot of hip work and groin work and all that kind of stuff.
Mobility type stuff.
Mobility stuff. You're obviously skating a lot, using your hips and your glutes and your groin a lot. So I've been kind of doing the same baseline of workouts for, since I've been playing. It's obviously a lot harder here. I don't have a personal trainer or anything like that. I don't have a gym with 10 hockey players that I can go and.
Sean is available if you need like a.
I'm not available to spot any of that. I saw that weight, and I'm not up to that.
Come train me.
I can hear your heart beating like extra fast the second I said that.
But you would talk to guys in the summer, and they would go to a gym, and there'd be 5 or 6 other hockey players there, and a trainer for them, and they do all hockey specific stuff. Where with myself, it's it's kind of just me, myself, and I in the gym. I need to find what works for me and how I can do it right and whatnot. But
you get to choose the playlist, and it's always the right music choice.
The playlist, the neighbours might not like it, but it's okay.
Sucked in.
But no, it's good. I mean, I think it's been going pretty well this year. This year's been obviously a long off season, which kind of sucks. But it's been nice to kind of build up the foundation, the body, ready for that new season again.
Now, I got a question, because you mentioned something before when we were filming in the gym there that I never realised, but after a game, like regular season NHL game, you guys are hitting the gym after that, like you're working out then?
Yeah.
Blew Sean's mind.
Yeah.
I've never done. Do you know how tired I am after a game?
Yeah, so no. It's the reason is because you play, if you're playing every second day or third day or whatever, it's hard to get a good lift in before a game. Obviously it's hard to get a good lift in after a game too, but you can still try and maintain that muscle mass. Nothing crazy, it's not like an hour workout. It's 15, 20 minutes, but it's just lifting that weight just to try and maintain the muscle that you need, in order to, sustain the whole season.
That's out of control.
Yeah, this is high level.
That has got to be a good protein shake to get me in the mood to go lift heavy after a game.
I think you need more than a protein shake to get you motivated for something like that, mate. Yeah.
Couple hot dogs will be
just a milkshake. Get rid of the protein, add more milk.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So, are you finding that guys, as the season goes through, I mean, like you're always working on it, but do you find that guys get leaner and faster as it kind of the season goes on?
Yeah, it can go. It can go 2 ways. You're playing 20 plus minutes a night, you can lose that muscle. If you're not, and you're still eating as if
like you are,
if that makes sense. You always kind of want to make sure you're well energized in the the food side of things. But then don't end up playing the 20 minutes. You've kind of had all those calories put in your body, but you're not exerting them. So it's tough. You got to find that happy medium. I've had a couple of seasons where I've lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
I've also had a couple of seasons where I put on some weight. Put on weight, kind of lost muscle. So it's kind of gone in the negative side of things.
Yeah.
But it's all it's all playing around. I play around with my diet a bunch. Sometimes I'll do a few weeks of just vegetarian, no meat. Sometimes I'll do just meat, no carbs, and I'll play around with it, see what kind of works for me, and go from there.
So how kind of closely is that worked within the program? So obviously there's dietitians with the team. So are they kind of giving you a rough scope, or are they giving you a plan, or how does it kind of work?
If you wanted a plan and wanted to if you felt like you were a bit heavier or whatever, you can, obviously approach them and say, help me, I need this. But I think before it got to that, you would have already been approached saying, listen.
Yeah, man, we noticed.
Yeah, which is okay, like, I shouldn't say it's okay, but if you come to camp and you're not in good shape, they're going to let you know. You need to make sure that you put in the work in the summer, to have a good season, come into camp in good shape. Otherwise, you're not owing it to the team and yourself to, put yourself and the team in the best position to win.
If any of those, getting yourself in summer shape documents comes across, or you see one in the gym, you want to just flick that to me, because summer's around the corner for me, and
beach season.
Yeah, big season coming up.
Yeah, beach season.
Beach season's
coming. Yeah,
just do a couple days faster every week. You should be good.
I think let's start.
3 days off eating.
Let's start.
You can eat for 3, off for 4.
You're on the water diet. Yeah, just water.
Go eat some ice cubes. You'll be good.
Man, you'll be begging to eat a salad after that.
I'm ready. Div 2, watch out. I'm coming.
Let's go, baby.
I'm coming.
You're going to be like inline national team, ready to go.
Could happen.
Was there inline nationals this year?
There's inline nationals after the ice season is done, so I think it's in September up in Queensland. So yeah, I went to last year's one.
State championship.
Yeah, the state one there.
When's the world's one?
That I'm not sure. I don't know when they put a team forward for that, sort of thing.
Amazing. So let's talk more about, because I feel like there's a lot of parts of the NHL that as a fan, as a watcher, that we don't really get to see. So we've touched on training, but let's kind of like run through a normal week. So like say it's Monday, what's the game schedule kind of looking like, and how does that fit in with not only, your workout sessions, but also your home life and everything else that's kind of going on in your world?
Yeah. I mean, Taylor's obviously if we played, on Tuesday and it was a Monday, we'd probably go to the rink. If we didn't have a day off, we'd be going to the rink and doing a light skate. I'd usually get to the rink 2 hours before our skate, have breakfast there, do my warm-up, do all my sticks, check the gear's ready to go and whatnot. And if it's not, if I felt like I needed my skate sharpened, which they probably already would have been because, the Blues
They're
got...
pretty dialed in with
the
that
Blues,
stuff.
the Blues got some of the best trainers in the league. Hopefully they see this.
As a shout, we will tag them right there at that point. Yeah.
No, they're unreal. I mean, your gear, there's nothing... Your gear's perfect every time. Yeah. And if there was anything wrong, they grab it and it's done within 5 minutes. Like it's unbelievable the way that they treat everyone, and it's second to none. It's unreal, and so that's just a touch on that bit. But yeah, go to the rink, do brekkie, warm up, all that kind of stuff. Tape the sticks, get on the ice. Or before the ice session, we do a little video session. Whether it was if we played the night before.
Yep.
Maybe just a little recap on, what we did well, what we need to work on. And then maybe just a little practice plan. We're doing this, and this for practice. So when we get on the ice, we do a little warm-up and then, straight into practice. And we would have gone over the plan so everyone knows what's going on. It's just boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
Be quick. 20.
Now, that's a massive one right there. And I want to bring that up because I remember, I'm not drawing any similarities here, but I think it's important to note that your training session is completely worked out and done, and everyone knows the different drills that are going. Yeah. Because I remember it blew my mind. I was coaching a women's team back in the day, and Mark Stevenson at the coaching course, he was like, 10% of your training is just taken up by explaining anything on the ice. So just, you have to do it. And the crazy thing is, every team I've ever been on, it's like out on the ice with a clipboard. I think that's got to change. I think every training should always be, it's all done, everyone understands it.
And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the whole hour's worth of, like that's hard to remember. It's hard to remember 7, 8 drills. Like that's tough. But if you can remember 3, 4.
The first 3.
But then every day have the same 3 or 4. So it's just like, boom, get on the ice, or modify them just slightly. Yeah. Just so it's like, all right, we're starting with 1A, 1-2, 1-3, whatever. Yeah. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going with. We'll get out there. We'll smash that out. We'll come back to the board, go over the next 3 or 4 drills, and then you guys are on your own. 10 minutes to screw around and take one time, whatever. That's it. But yeah, so we would skate for 25, 30 minutes or whatever, and then we'd have the rink to ourselves, and guys would do, we'd work on our rims, we'd work on shot, like whatever you want to do, tips, whatnot. We'd do that, and then I would hop off the ice, cool down, do a stretch, just kind of chill, watch one of the 8 TVs that we have in the locker room there.
Sick. That's sick.
Not a big deal.
So who's the guy that runs the?
Well, there's everything. So there's
hierarchy?
like ESPN 1, 2, Golf Channel.
You're sorted. That's it.
Yeah,
that's more or less
pretty
most
much
of the guys in the change room
Yeah,
right
exactly right. There's not maybe NHL Network will be up too.
I don't think the History Channel is going to be.
Maybe even not the History. Maybe the Money Market Channel.
There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, no, everything's all set up. It's unreal. So then you get a stretch, and then it's time for the jump in the sauna and the hot tub and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's more our style.
Cold tub.
Cold tub is good
Sauna,
too.
cold tub, sauna, cold tub.
That's
3
cool.
rounds.
Yeah.
So is that one skate per day kind of thing, like on the ice once a day, and then gym is later that night, or?
Gym would be, so it would just depend on when a game would be, whether we would work out that day or work out after the game day the next day.
Yeah.
It would just kind of depend on when.
And is it like whole teams in the gym together, and it's like a set program, or it's like each person's got their
It
own?
would be, so we would have a TV up there which would explain kind of, what we're doing and whatnot. But say, for example, your hip's bugging you, you just be like, hips bugging me, you got anything else? But yeah, we'll switch this in, we'll move that.
Gotcha.
We still want to activate it a bit and whatnot, but obviously don't do that because it's going to aggravate it. So they obviously work with you. They're not just like, this is it. And obviously there's guys that have been doing it for 10 plus years. This is what they like to do, and so if they no one's going to get mad because you're not doing the workout to a T, but obviously it just gives you a nice guideline to follow, and that's pretty much it.
Who's the biggest rink rat out of the team? The guy that you're like, man, this guy's just here all the time. Like, he just loves it.
I don't know. I will say this, whenever
there's no Yagers out there with the weighted ankles,
the medicine balls and stuff.
Yeah. 2 hours after team practice.
No, I don't know. Everyone's pretty good. I will say this though, whenever the guys are at the rink, it's business time, and then as soon as it's kind of over, that's it. Guys.
Right, they
guys
have
go
that
home.
switch. They go back and forth. All right, this is the job.
Yeah,
Let's
and
do
it's
the job.
fun. Like, don't get me wrong, we have shitloads of fun. But it is business time at the same time. And guys, guys go in with the fact that they want to get better, they want to learn, and they want to do this, and they want to do that, and they want to, they want to make sure they're doing the best they can for not just themselves but the team as well, to try and get the team to the next level. It's not just mucking around and all that kind of stuff. It is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's a business time at the same time.
And
as well.
you got the big chief hanging around too. You don't want to be slacking off around with that unit walking around.
When you see him working out in the gym too, you probably know you should be in there at some point.
He's still clanging and banging. He's still throwing the iron around.
Yeah.
I can see him just pushing some serious weight.
What a unit.
Yeah.
And how much is it kind of like, I mean, it's a grueling season. There's so many games. So there must be so much kind of injury management going on through it, just like with small niggles and things like that from players throughout the team, right? Like, it's not like you'll go through some of those huge battles and everyone will just come out scot-free.
No, yeah. So there's trainers that take care of all that. Same thing with the trainers that take care of the gear as well. They're unbelievable. If you come up to them and say, I need this, my hip, whatever, it's like, boom, they're straight on the case. They'll look after you, and it's, they got all the tools and all the bells and whistles to make sure that, they can do the best that they can do in order for you to be the best that you can be. And, like you said, you can go through a season and have, little niggle pains here and there, and for the whole season it can kind of be like that. But, if you can manage that, then it's, it's definitely a good thing. Do
you notice there's is it at a similar level when you go down to, because you've been up and down in terms of like NHL, AHL, and you had a few games in the East Coast, is the level of professionalism like pretty much same within those sort of leagues?
Yeah, it is. Obviously it's harder. The NHL, you got 3 or 4 trainers, a masseuse, someone who can come in and do chiropractic and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously the budget level is a little bit different, as you go down to AHL East Coast, but it's they still do what they can do with what they have. And, in Springfield, for example, when I was there, it was, the one guy was looking after the whole team.
Gotcha.
So, he's doing the best he can do, but it's hard to look after 20, 30 guys and make sure everyone's getting,
The attention.
Yeah. So then it obviously goes in the pecking order, right?
Yep.
You got, guys who've been around the longest. It kind of goes like that, and
Yeah.
kind of like everything. You look at work and whatnot. It's guys who've been there longest probably get more priority or whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, the professionalism it's always there, and I think just the resources are not there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. No, that makes sense. Like they can't have the same budget as these top NHL teams, but they do what they can.
I have been looking at it every now and then.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll have
Speaking of team roles, does St. Louis, they've got a podcast team, don't they? I mean, look, Brian and I, we're free on weekends, so.
We're going to relocate.
Working remote, Adlon.
During the winter.
No.
That'd be sick.
So you've got your training, you've got your games, and then you've got time with the fam. How many kind of days off are you getting through, like, with your schedule? Is it kind of like, or does it just vary? Like, sometimes you might have 2 off.
It depends. Yeah, like we could have a week where we got back-to-back games, say Monday, Tuesday, a day off Wednesday, and then we play Thursday, we play Saturday, and then they might give you a day off Sunday. Yeah, home, away. Like we could get back at 2 a.m. They're like, we'll take the rest of the day off.
Yep.
It just depends. It varies, but like I said, I think Taylor handles it really well, and she gets it. She understands. Night before a game, I can't be up with the kids if they wake up, so she kind of handles all that. And she's an absolute legend with all that kind of.
And what's the flight situation going? Are we talking PJs, or is it a little 737, or is it all Blues colours, or what?
We fly chartered, which is good. There's we got food and drinks on the plane, which is nice. We get looked after pretty well.
Does it have Walker on the seat?
No, it's not like that. No, we got napkins. We have napkins with Blues logo on, which is good. A little menu as well.
Yeah,
nice,
right.
Yeah.
Does the cutlery have a little engraving? Steal me a couple of forks with the Blues logo on it.
Silver ones.
Just give me a bit of that crystal that they have in.
That would be amazing. We're going to auction those off. So,
Yeah.
So I guess they must be trying to keep everything as much the same when you're on the road as at home. So, I mean, like, is it a lot more of a struggle when you are on the road and, like, you've got games out, or does it kind of feel the same? You're all eating at the same times, you're working out, it's just a different, like, setting or different gym kind of thing?
Yeah, we're on the road. We'll say we're playing in Chicago on a Tuesday. We'll fly it on the Monday, and we'll get there. We'll go to the hotel, and then you go grab dinner with your buddies, come back. Then in the morning we'll have breakfast allocated from spitballing times 8 to 10, say,
Right.
Or 8 till 9 or whatever. The bus there'll be 2 buses, an early bus and a second bus. And then we practice at 11 in the morning, a little skate, 15 minutes or whatever. Go back, have lunch. Most guys will nap, and then there'll be 2 buses again back to the rink for game time.
Now, Nathan, I want to talk about gear, okay? Let's talk about gear.
Yep.
My question is, what is the rundown, right? You are in the NHL. Is there gear reps from each brand, or is there a gear person or workers within the team that kind of lines everything up? And then I also want you to go into depth because, like we've got custom skates that are available through skaters and through our different partners, as well as custom sticks. But I mean, like, what are the kind of options that they're giving you at that pro level with your gear to customize?
Pretty much anything. I mean, whatever you want done to stuff, you can have done. It's, they're really good with that. And then if you need extra padding or whatever, usually the trainers can, tag something onto the side of it. I've got something.
Are there
on
rules
my,
around that? Like, 'cause I've seen
I'm
Ovi.
sure
He's
there
got
is.
some like weird mods on his shoulder pads and his pants as well. He's got that extra little lower back.
I'm sure there's something. I wouldn't know the rules,
Okay,
but myself, I have on my shinny, I got a little bit of extra padding there because when I block shots, I tend to go down a lot more on that side.
Gotcha.
And I took a few pucks there, so I that's what I have in mine, and a bunch of other guys will have certain flaps just to
Yeah, a little extra bit of
a little
layering.
extra bit of padding, just so you don't get injured and whatever. But
And now we obviously see that, Hyperlite 2 stuff has been in some forms and different colorways, of course, but it's been in the NHL for, the last season, and, people are playing with it. So is that like the gear reps are coming to you and say, hey, look, this is new, or this is X, Y, and Z, like try it out? And are you giving feedback to Bauer or the different brands? Like how does that work?
Yeah, they'll usually bring like sample sticks, and you can test them out and get a couple sent to you and ordered in your curve, your flex, and your lie and grip and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, every now and then the Bauer rep or a Warrior rep or CCM rep, they'll pop their head in and chat to you, see if you want to try any of that stuff out and whatnot.
So it's not like there's like a single day when all these people come in with all this gear. It's like kind of throughout, and you can kind of call on them at any point to say, hey, I need like some custom curves, or
You say, I want to change my blade to be a bit more stiffer. I find it's breaking down easily on me and all that kind of stuff. You can have that conversation with them, and they'll just go over their laptop and type in a couple of codes, and that kind of changes that.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That is so nice.
it is cool.
Just tweak it a little bit, just a little bit like this.
I wouldn't have to bend the blades myself anymore. Like
Yeah,
someone
you
would
wouldn't
just
have to
say,
get the
"Here you go."
You just show the Bauer rep. Like I have the Cobra here, and it's just this massive hook
Can you
on the
mimic
end.
this?
Can you make? I don't think that's legal, sir.
That's
Next question. What is
every league.
Okay, Nathan, you have been in Czech. You have played in the States. You know what I'm saying? You've seen a lot of hockey in different places. Okay, Spangler Cup. What is the craziest curve you have ever seen?
It's
Either
definitely in
a
Czech,
player
no
against or on your team?
I don't know. Oh, probably maybe Ryan O'Reilly's. Have you guys seen his?
Dude,
curve? The little
that's
thing on the
literally
end?
the one that. That's right at
It's
the end.
actually pretty sick though. Like,
Have you given it a crack?
oh, maybe one time when we're doing, he picks up pucks off the boards really well,
Yeah.
and he's always doing these cool like one-handed things and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's sick at it. So we're like, I don't know, if you pick up sticks and you look at curves, that's probably the weirdest looking one, and he knows it too.
Yeah.
But he's so good with it. Like,
It works.
it works so well, and he's so good at
He's the
picking
factor
pucks
for
up.
a reason.
Yeah, and he's so good at picking pucks off the wall and doing the the little one-handed things and everything like that. It's unreal, and it obviously, I think having that little knobby bit on the top, maybe that puck rolls straight into his blade and he's got it right on his stick.
Yeah.
Instead of having a
I mean, because there was a time like before P28, like a real aggressive kind of toe curve, when I would watch, like highlight videos of Ovi, and, I was looking at his curve and I was like, that is crazy. And, I had picked up an Ovi blade in my hand and I'd seen it and I was like, that is not as crazy. Like his one is more nuts. And then I remember watching this video of him just like heating blades and bending and like just snapping and just like throwing to the side and getting another one and going until it was perfect. And I was like, guy's my hero.
Oh my God, this guy's a legend. Yeah, because you would have seen his curve, like his stick up for like right close. Like, did he have
his curve's pretty crazy. There's not much backhand on it, but he's still got a pretty nice backhand too. I mean, I remember on that cup run, he threw a kind of like skating down on the boards towards our net because Netsov was coming up the backside.
Mm-hmm.
He was against Tampa. It might have been like Game 6 or something. And he just had this backhand sauce like straight across the ice to the other side of the board. It just landed straight on his stick. So he obviously can use the
Incredible.
backhand pretty well.
Yeah. Oh my God. How does he do it? Oh, well, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think he's going to break the record?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Like he's like, how many goals he scored last year?
There was, I don't know.
It was over 40, no?
It was definitely over 40. Yeah. I think he needs like 3 more seasons with 40 plus goals. I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's too good.
I don't see him
not
stopping.
do it.
He doesn't
No.
look like he's slowing down at all.
No,
which is insane.
He's like his shot is still like he hasn't lost anything off his shot.
No.
And he's still scoring goals, and
Yeah.
everyone knows that on the power play it's going to go over to him for a shot.
It's called Ovi's office for a reason.
Exactly right, and he's still scoring. So if they know, like if a goalie knows the pass is coming to him, and he's still scoring. Like he's probably going to break it.
What is the strategy to stop that? Because it just seems to be highlight after highlight, like in that same spot.
Want to try and think what the
Could
strategy
you
would be,
imagine
but
trying to block that shot?
I'm sure a lot of goalies have gone over the strategy for it. But he's got a great shot, and
He's got the touch.
that's just the way it is.
And Ovi Junior's already working his way to having a massive clapper already. It's going to be incredible.
I think Banks is going to give him a run. I saw him running around with a stick, one in each hand, just, he's...
People down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was too busy throwing them around there.
Little agitator.
Oh, he's a little bowling ball right now too.
Oh, mate.
So,
Just like you.
has hockey started for the kids yet, Nathan? Like, are you slowly starting to, like, introduce...
We got the mini nets and stuff. You got one of their sticks as a mic right now.
Yeah.
But
Brought to you by Skaters Network.
yeah.
You can fetch one of those online.
I mean, I'm not gonna push them in to do anything. I was kind of talking with Tay. We took Winnie to soccer yesterday, and she was actually pretty good and kicking the ball. And the Matildas won the night before, so I was like, oh, right, she can play for Matildas. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
But no, if they want to play ice hockey and when they grow up and realize, that dad played and whatever, if they want to play, they can play. If they want to do this or do that, they can do that. I don't want to be that parent kind of forcing them to do something.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that next generation, I know, look, you're only midway into your career right now. So, but my question is, has there been any reach out to you from Ice Hockey Australia or, teams back here who want Nathan Walker as head coach or, down the line, 2036, what?
Lock it in.
Is there any rumours there? Is there something coming up soon?
I wish there was. No, there's been nothing. No, there's not really any dialogue with anything like that. It's pretty tough, to be honest. But it would be nice, it'd be nice to have that relationship and communication with him, but it just hasn't been there.
Like get this guy as an advisor or
into the program, because I mean, look, you're busy right now anyway with everything that you're doing, so many games, so much hockey, but I think could you imagine if you were on the junior team?
I would love to have him as my coach right now, to be honest. I would love to just pick up a few tips. That'd be great. If you just watch one of my AIHL games, give me a few notes. That would be great. Thanks. How much are you charging?
I mean, I think there's so much, because I mean, you've seen so many programs, different places, Europe, US, different teams. Yeah. So I mean, that wealth of knowledge.
I would love to obviously help ice hockey in Australia grow and the kids and everything. But like you said, obviously stuff going on right now. But I can still watch something and have an input if they wanted that or whatever. But yeah, I would love to. I'd love to be a part of growing the game and trying to get Ice Hockey Australia to that next level, and competing for a chance to play in a better division, and then the year after that actually competing to stay in the division, and then competing to go up again, and it would be good. Not just talking about the men's team here, talking about the under-18s, the junior team, the women's team, everything. It'd be good to just try and bring that Ice Hockey Australia up.
So I've got a secondary question on that, is in this one. So, like, playing overseas, playing everywhere, how much hockey that you need to just be consumed with all the time to keep leveling up and progressing. So for, peewee, bantam, midget in Australia, apart from ice time, because, maybe they're only getting one training session a week, maybe they can train up with a team, what else, if they want to pursue this as a career, do you see as being their avenue? Like, what else do they need to be doing if they want to be taken seriously and progress overseas,
I think just playing sports in general. I think, if you played soccer or rugby with hockey, it's going to help more than just, focusing on ice hockey and trying to get on the ice as much as you can when you can't. I think if you play sports, it's definitely going to help. But then also, if you wanted to kind of veer off and do the hockey thing, go down to netball courts, put some inline blades on, skate around for a bit.
You heard it here.
Go, set up a net in your garage, break your mum and dad's windows, do all that stuff. But, I think,
especially since maybe they can't play in a big inline league at the moment. There might be one rink here or something else here. Exactly. Victoria's different, but I'm with you. I reckon that is where they need to, because you've got the opportunity to spend 10 hours a week 11 hours a week, 12 hours a week skating.
But the hockey community that is here in Australia is a very proud one, and they do want
Very
hockey.
passionate, yeah.
Very passionate. They do want it to get better, but I think there's a lot of things that need to kind of fall perfectly in order for that to happen. And I would, just touching on the Ice Hockey Australia thing, I would love to be somehow embedded into that to try and push it in the right direction.
Right.
And me being in there doesn't mean it's going to get better.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean
exactly.
anything at all, really.
Yeah.
But like you said, I've played in Czech, played here, played there. I've been playing hockey now for 11 years, 11 years professionally, and kind of how things work, what doesn't work.
Yep.
And I think if I could get embedded in there somehow and...
I mean, you're a direct conduit to the NHL, like the Premier League in the world. You know what I'm saying? Training programs, different things that are going on.
Yeah.
There's so much that can be shared.
No, very true. Yeah, so it would be nice to, just try and push in the right direction.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen in 5 years, 10 years? Probably not.
It's got to be a long-term
It's going to be
plan.
a very long process.
I mean, the basketball and soccer programs here in Australia, like they took time for them to develop. Like the A-League is at like a good spot now, but when it first came into the league, it was struggling.
Yeah.
And NBL's, they have crazy crowds now as well. So also, competing in the Olympics and have some guys that are playing in the NBA as well.
Yeah.
They have a structure and a program set up for those guys to have a clear path that, okay, if I'm at a certain level here, I can go here, and then that'll give me the opportunity to get seen to play college
exactly right,
or overseas. So I think that there are like good examples of sports that Australia probably weren't really that known for that are now,
because they've
put in the time and the resources and all that sort of the facilities set in place to have an environment for those kids, the good and the kids that do excel. There's no ceiling above them. They can just keep excelling and keep excelling along the way. But unfortunately, just with how our sport is, there's going to be a lot of upfront cost for that to sort of fall into place to allow that environment to be nurtured.
No, you're right.
And just going back on how you've had your path has taken you all over the world. If you were to do it again, and you could plan your sort of development in certain leagues or environments, would you go through the Czech route again and then go to North America? Would you go directly to North America? Thinking like retrospectively, would you have taken a different path or?
I don't know. It's hard to say now. If I was sitting here, haven't played a game of hockey in the last 5 years, I'd probably say should have gone to North America.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm in a pretty decent spot now, and I wouldn't have changed anything right now looking back at it.
Yeah.
I think where I am now is good. Obviously, I haven't made $80 million in the NHL.
Yeah.
Which is it is what it is. Reality. I'm not that kind of player. I'm not first overall draft pick. I'm nothing like that. Could I have been if I went to North America? Probably not.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
You could have been lost within the shuffle there.
Exactly right. Like you don't know, right? Like where I am now and what I've done and going to Czech and coming here, I'm happy with that. And
I mean, technically, that is the proven route. So if you are 13, check now. Book your flights.
Kale Costa, the ball is in your court. See.
Next generation.
Shout out to him though, because he's doing a great job over there as well. I mean, because you had I felt like when you went over there, because I'm a few years, for people at home, I'm a few years older than Nathan, so he was always playing up in my age group. So that's why we've been sort of close growing up. When you finally went over there, it was like that was like such a massive deal for all the guys that were still back home in Australia. Oh my God, like he actually got to go over there. And like not only just got to go there, like they saw that he was good enough to play. And then you started playing up in age group, and then you sort of shot up and got your opportunity with like that Spengler Cup situation. Sort of put the spotlight on you. It sort of felt like for me as someone that was close to you, like it sort of felt like it was like there was a path. There was like a clear path for you that you were just sort of already going through.
Yeah.
What has felt like the most surreal moment from your path? I know there's a lot of things that you hit, but what was the most surreal moment that you just looked around and go, this is my life, like, this is pretty cool?
I don't know. Like you said, there's been so many. I mean, obviously the first training camp when I went to Washington and you see Ovi and Backstrom, and that's like at that
welcome
time,
to the league
it's like
moment type
like
thing.
Whoa,
Yeah.
shit, you're on the ice with these guys now. And then, that kind of wears off because you're hanging out with them
Because
every
now
day.
he's just,
It's
he's
like,
just,
cool, all right, with them.
just a teammate.
Yeah, and then the next one was being on the ice and get given the cup lift over your head. Like, that was like, holy shit, that's crazy too. Like, I only dream of this.
That's it, yeah.
And then it just kind of, that, I'm not going to say that became the normal, but then you're hanging out with those guys all year, and that was that. And then, I don't know, like getting to play in the playoff games, and then, you see you're up against Crosby and he's in the corner with you. Like,
Dude.
when you're younger and you haven't played much NHL, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then, like,
Getting
now
dangled by Latang or some shit
yeah,
like that.
exactly
You know what I
right.
mean?
Like, that was
yeah.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
and then, you play in the league for a little bit, you play some more games, and then something else. You see, you play against someone else, cool. And then you play the whole season, you play against this guy, this guy. It's cool. Yeah, like you said, there's been a lot of surreal moments, but the big one, I think, was my first camp when, you see Ovechkin on the same ice sheet.
He just walks past you in the hallway, like, Jesus.
And you can see, like...
That's Ovi. Do I
see,
say
like,
hi now or later?
You see, like, all the young rookie kids and the kids from rookie camp and everything when you're that young. And then now you can see it when you're older, and you see guys walking past, like Ryan O'Reilly, like Braden Shen, and the list goes on down to the whole lineup. You see them now that you're older.
Yeah.
You see them walk past and go, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
I wish I was saying about me, but it's actually me. It's actually me saying, that's.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
That's Ryan over there. He asked me to go sharpen their skates for him. Damn it. No, but it's...
You can spot me at the gym, kid. It's all right. I'll be in there in half an hour.
Yeah. No, but it's good. Being older now, like going through that, it's cool. Because I've always been a big fan of helping the younger guys out, because I always got help when I was young.
Yeah.
Off the older guys. So it's funny now seeing there's guys in Washington, that Taylor and I actually kind of look after a bit. And you see them now, and they're married, they've got kids, and it's kind of cool because we kind of took them under our wing and showed them the ropes, and they're doing the same thing now with the other younger guys. And it's like when I was in Springfield for the year, there was a couple of younger kids that I'm not going to say I was looking after, but would keep an eye on just to make sure if they needed anything that I could try and help them out.
They weren't fully adjusted quite. To like that pro lifestyle.
So just if it wasn't anything crazy, but if they just needed help with anything, or insurance for their car, how to set up their gas bill.
Of course, yeah.
Little things like that, I try and help them out, because they're all little stresses that you don't need. And it's cool to see you help those kids out then. And then, like, I go to camp now and I'll see them and they'll be, all fully grown up. And it's cool to see.
Oh, that's cute. That's awesome.
No, it's nice. And then obviously you run down all the old Hershey guys. When I played in Hershey, you see them in Washington, and
of course,
or they're still in Hershey, or they're on different teams around the league, and
Yeah.
it's cool to see them, kind of taking that role now to looking after the rookies on their team.
That's sick.
So it's good seeing the younger kids and the younger generation come up. It's cool.
That's unreal.
And it must be cool because, I mean, you've got connections throughout the league from where you've played. There's always kind of somebody that you've played against,
from... It's like 2 degrees of separation.
Even in that league, you're still connected with kind of everyone. And I guess it must be a really... Like, obviously, there's massive rivalries in the NHL, but there must be so much respect between teams and kind of, a good camaraderie between everyone,
There is, yeah. Like, you'll chat with your buddies after the game and say hello and everything, but... the moment you kind of step on the ice, it's game on. There's no friends. You can obviously have a joke, skating back to the bench or whatever.
Sticks
but
a
little smile, whatever. But no, you're never going to give anyone an inch of ice. That's for sure.
Yeah, damn straight.
I love slashing friends, honestly, across the top of the skates.
The hardest ones I slash.
It's always good to get one up on your mates. That's always the best. Like that feels like the biggest battles there. Speaking of friends, like, who have you, been able to, like, rub shoulders or meet cool people along the way during your pro career? I know you played in San Antonio for a little bit. probably saw a bit of the Spurs play with Paddy Mills. I think was he there?
Yeah,
during
he
the
actually
time?
gave me a jersey, which was pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
we traded jerseys. That was cool. I mean, there's been plenty of cool dudes I've come across along the leagues and everything.
Do you have a preferred league that you like to watch other than hockey?
Not really. Nah. I mean, if the NFL's on and it's a Sunday, I'll watch some games or whatever and hang out with the guys. Have a couple of beers and whatnot. But I've just gotten into watching golf. Really.
Okay.
I never used to really watch golf. Love playing it.
Yeah.
Never really got into watching it.
Gotcha.
How is the golf game?
It's coming along, but
Okay.
it's not. It's not great. It's not great.
It's definitely better than mine. Trust me.
It's not great.
Yeah.
I don't get invited out sometimes.
Really?
No, just kidding. I'll get invited. I get embarrassed sometimes playing though, because they're all hitting it really straight, and then mine just goes off.
Is there like a lot of rivalries between the team, like golf wise? Like, because obviously everyone's playing golf, aren't they?
Yeah. There's probably 95% of guys play golf.
Yeah.
Not that I've really noticed. I don't think everyone's quite modest. They're like, "Oh no, you're really good." When like maybe they're better, but they're just like saying you're good.
Yeah, they're trying to like rope you into like a couple of like cash games or
Yeah,
something.
maybe. Yeah. Well, I stay away from that.
$50 a hole. Let's just.
I ain't
see
playing
what happens.
any cash games.
Right. Yeah.
Especially-
You'll get rinsed.
The only way I would do that is if my teammate's really good.
Gotcha.
I'll play with him and be like, all right, you need to dial it. I'll give you like 10 good shots the whole day, and that's it.
That's about it.
Yeah, I need you to dial it in because I'm not dialing it in. I can't. I don't know how to dial it in.
Are you guys playing any like golf courses when you're on the road or anything? Like, is it a day off or is it kind of more?
Not really. It's too hard. Yeah, I think trying to get away, play golf, and then play the next day is probably not an ideal thing to do. That's kind of hard to do, but
there's a few like charity events around and like different St. Louis Blues.
If there's like 2 or 3 games, but 2 or 3 days in between games, you can maybe sneak out a round or two. But usually when I come home, I'll just I'll hang out with the kids and take them to the park and do all that fun stuff.
You're trying to get him out to like a sandbagger?
We should do one.
We could get the
Seriously.
drone up. We could.
We could play at a public course.
Yeah.
20 bucks.
You can see all our terrible shots in 4K. You can see how bad we look.
That'd actually be quite funny.
We might be able to tee something up.
See if get Adlon to cover that one.
I think we could.
We'll see.
I got a card. We can get it done. So Nathan, halfway through your off season, or more, when are you heading back over? What is the plan? Like, are you going back into preseason camp, or like, do you go back to a different training routine, or just tell me how it's gonna roll out in the next month?
Heading back early September. I think I'm not quite sure when camp is, but I'll be there a couple of weeks before camp kicks off. Just start getting on the ice a bit and training, just because it's been hard this off season skating and whatnot. But I'll be heading back early September and gearing up for the new year again.
That'd be awesome. So in that kind of first part of the season, is it just you can get ice kind of whenever you want and there's different coaches there, or you can just work on your own skills, your own things that you want to do, the gym's open?
It'll be more of like a captain's run, I guess, if you will. Some guys will just run a practice. Yeah. And then we'll probably scrimmage at the end of it and just try to get up and down the ice and,
get your legs going.
Get the legs under you, get the blood moving and everything. And then guys will stay on and do extra work and whatnot and all that kind of good stuff.
What about in terms of your own personal, obviously the goals to do well as a team, but for yourself, are you looking at this season with any sort of particular personal goals in mind that you would like to hit?
Obviously stay healthy, I think, is number one. And then, obviously being with the Blues would be good all year and all that kind of fun stuff. And then, obviously score some more goals. Only had 2 last year, so wouldn't mind scoring a few more of them. And
Still
just
more than any of us.
Yeah, that's it. That's a big 2. That's the biggest 2 you can get.
I'm struggling to get 2 in the AI, so.
But yeah, no, just be healthy, and then obviously just try to have a good season, and then make playoffs. I think is a big one too.
Now, we've also got something interesting happening with the NHL and Australia. The Global Series coming out. What do you think about that? NHL coming to our sunny shores.
It's going to be great. They could have put a game in Sydney too. That would have been good as well.
That would have been nice.
That would have been amazing.
No, it's going to be unreal. I think bringing the NHL to Australia is, just open up a can of worms. It's going to be sick, and hopefully this isn't the last time they do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully this could become a yearly thing, maybe, where they come down and bring, a couple different teams here and there, and it would be good, I think. I know you said you're going down to the games, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the Saturday game.
Yeah, so it's going to be unreal.
And I think for people to see that atmosphere and how tight the rink is and how physical it is, like you see it overseas and you go to it and it just captivates you straight away. So I really hope that there's thousands and thousands of people.
The same, it might sound a bit silly, but the same like light show, the same organ player, all that kind of stuff. Like bring that full blown environment to Australia.
Get the whole experience that comes with an NHL game.
And obviously people who have seen AIHL games and then go and watch this game can have, no offense, but obviously.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I'll be there. And
it'll be a little bit different going to a game in Australia than going to an NHL game played in Australia.
Yeah.
I think it will be
very eye-opening.
Very eye-opening for a lot of people,
100%.
And hopefully it captivates a lot of people and they get involved in hockey, whether it's through their kids or they just go and watch a game and or tell their buddies at work, whatever. It's going to be good. It's going to be good for the sport and it's going to be good for hockey in Australia, I think.
I'm excited.
What about, have you heard any rumours about St. Louis coming down under anytime soon? Maybe following year? What?
If I had anything to tell, I would share it with you, but I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, ask him like he's...
We've got no hot takes right now.
Maguire, like he's a hockey insider.
There's got to be he's
in the board meetings.
There's got to be a player's email or a group chat that's just like spitballing the newest stuff. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to do it more than just once to really get the interest going, because not everyone will be able to have the opportunity to go. You have a lot of the people that come from the hockey community they'll be able to see, and some of them will be non-hockey players but maybe just enjoy the sport from the periphery. I think that if they do it a few more times, it might get that massive exposure. But this is like when I heard the news, I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was a big G up when I first heard it. Like, surely not. Like, I was like, what? Since when?
Yeah.
And then it actually...
Why?
Yeah, what?
This never happened before. What's going on? In Australia?
What are you getting at? Yeah? What's the play here?
No, it's cool. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Obviously, there's two good teams coming down too, so it'll be nice. Lots of talent on both teams, so it'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll be good to see them, up close and, see the physicality and how fast it actually is and everything. It'll be a little bit different than watching games back here in Australia. That's for sure. It'll be good.
No, they're just not as
athletic. We got to cut some of that out. No, it'll be great for the sport. I think that
best league in the Southern Hemisphere.
Let's just put some glass on every rink. That's what I was getting at. That'd be good. It's more safe.
Yes.
It's more safe if guys getting hit.
Yes. Especially when you're tall like me and you just get folded in half.
It's fine for guys like me because my head only just reaches over the boards. And if I duck, it's okay.
Yeah. I remember a couple of guys trying to bury you when you played for the Dogs that one year, and it was that got cut pretty short when Whitey started flying in.
Yeah,
to
I had a couple of big fellas looking after.
Yeah. I was like, he can play, but like, don't worry, we're gonna have a couple of guys on the ice to make sure he'll be fine regardless. So I saw that you were at a Sharkies game the other week. So big Sharkies supporter.
Yeah, I don't mind the Sharkies. Yeah. When I was younger, I actually played for the junior club, so they've always had a little piece in my heart.
You know a few guys on the team?
What's that?
Do you know any guys on the team?
No, not where I could dab them up or anything like that.
Yeah.
I did actually when Dukes was playing. I knew him.
Yeah,
decently.
nice. Yeah,
he was
a beauty. Yeah.
I liked him. I got along with him.
Yeah.
But went to a game when they played. Who did they play? They played the Dragons, and it was like 2 minutes in, Dragons go in, and it was just like. Dragons, I think, were at the bottom of the table.
Ooh.
Like, oh no, it's gonna be tough, and then just went boom, boom, boom. I think the Sharks blew them out of the walls 50 to 16 or whatever. So that was good.
And when you were watching, could you be like, I can still play? I can slide in the lineup.
How's it go in the change room? Like when the boys walk around and you're like on your phone, like watching the Sharkies game. Like they're like, "Yo, this is great."
Just don't get the phone wet, guys.
Is that the fifth TV? Is that the fifth one? Is like Sharkies, and I was just like,
I might have to
"What is going on?"
I have to put on KO Sports and log in and get the Sharkies game on while I'm
That'd be great.
They would actually love that because they all think that rugby, and I think it is too. I think rugby is such a tough sport.
Yeah.
But you talk to rugby players and they think ice hockey is such a tough sport, which they both are. But we're not skating at each other, tackling each like.
No, yeah.
I have so much respect and so much time for rugby players. What they put their bodies through and what they do, I think, is unbelievable. Same with the union players. I think
Yeah.
AFL is pretty tough too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the sports are a lot tougher than what you
They
can
give 'em,
see
like,
on TV.
Yeah, they give them credit for, really.
Yeah, because I mean, you go to the game. Like we were lucky enough to have pretty decent seats. Thanks to my brother, he actually shouted us. Shy Financial Planning, thank you.
You just hit the link in the top right corner there.
He got us seats, and we were lucky enough to be, 4 or 5 seats back from the field, and you could hear the thud. You could hear him hitting and it's like what gives you like shivers down your spine. It's crazy.
Right.
Nathan, let's. I got 2 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
The second last one, Brian, you've got questions, obviously, maybe as well.
If I do, I'll let you know.
If it's better than my question, then we'll cut
If
it and
it's not
switch
better,
it.
then I'm tapping out.
All right, Nathan. The second last question is: if you could sum up your hockey career so far in 3 words, what would they be?
That's an interesting.
Eternal.
One. I
don't know.
I like fun. It's been fun. It's been exciting, and it's going to be more fun.
Yeah. 3 hockey players trying to come up with synonyms.
What's another word for more fun?
We do not have enough battery in the camera to
Now the last
I have to
question.
Google it.
The last question that I do want to ask Nathan, and this is a serious one. Final question of the podcast. What has been a better experience? Going on Spit and Chicklets or coming on the Hockey Life podcast presented by Skaters Network?
Serious question.
Yeah.
Spit checklist.
That's it. We're out of time. Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. All right,
guys.
cut.
Huge shout out to Nathan for coming on the podcast. Absolutely awesome catching up, hearing some of those different details about professional hockey and playing in the NHL. As well as that, just want to say huge shout out to everyone who has been listening along, dropping comments, liking, subscribing to the podcast. We really appreciate all the support. We're getting better every week, and we're really looking forward to some great interviews coming up. So stay tuned, tell your friends. Thank you for listening. This is the Hockey Life Podcast.